3D printing for noobs.
What's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about 3D printing. I'm new to it. If you're watching this video, you're probably new to it. I just want to talk about how easy it is to get into it. If you're on the fence or whatever, if you got a computer, if you got a printer, you can 3D print. I did a lot of research before, thinking it might be pretty hard, whatever. I'm going to walk you through some steps today on what you need to do after you get your printer set up out of the box, plugged in, loaded with filament, and do your first 3D print. Like I said, I'm new to it. I'm just telling you some basics of what I've learned, but let's get into it. This guy right here is called a benchy, or basically a benchmark for your printer. And basically it shows the quality of your prints and how fast it is, really. Mine is about a 10-minute benchy, which is pretty good, I'd say. You can look up times and stuff like that online. People track their records. For the next part, we're about to go online and get our file. These are free files. They got a bunch of different websites. We're going to use printables. We're going to get our file and bring it in our slicer. I use FLSUN. It's what my printer uses, but there's a bunch of different softwares out there that will work with a bunch of different printers. But yeah, let's go get this file and do our first 3D print. Alright, like I said, we're going to go to printables.com, get our file there. I got one picked out for the purpose of this video, but they have a bunch of different free files to use. We're gonna go with this Raven here. If you check the description or the comments, a lot of times people will leave how they set their printer up, whether they use supports, and how thick their infill was. Alright, so we just downloaded that file. We dragged it from our desktop into our slicer. I'm using FLSUN. We just oriented it and made it sit the way we wanted to sit on the print bed. Right now we're looking at our presets. We have a 0.4 nozzle. We're using the generic preset that the printer has laid out. We're going to look at supports right now. That's a big thing. If you have an object that has overhangs or isn't sitting flat on the bed, you're going to have to turn supports on, or it will basically ruin your print because it's not supported to print flat all the way around. So see me turn on the supports here, you'll see the supports generate in the software. Alright, there's our supports. That's what's going to help us have good prints. If you look on the right side, you'll see a bunch of different information. That's your outside walls, your infill. Right now I'm going down, and that's each layer. That's what a slicer does. It slices the 3D image into something, a code that the 3D printer can read. And right now we are changing our infill. That's that little grid in the middle. And it's going to generate a new one with higher infill, and that just means it's going to be a lot stronger. It'll be a lot, see how small the grid is now, and that's going to be a lot stronger model right there. Now, depending on your needs, like I don't have to do that for this model, but if I was wanting to be If I was wanting something to be really strong, that's what I would do, among some other things, but this is just basic tips right here. So we just went all the way down. That's the very first thing that's going to print on our printer. Alright, so now we're going to send that file to the printer. Mine's connected over Wi-Fi, so I'll just hit a button and it will send it to the printer. A lot of them have USBs that you just stick in them, and it works that way as well. But here I am putting in new filament. I didn't have that much, so it's pretty straightforward, and all this is in your user manual. I'm going to extrude it and load it in there so that it is good to print. That's basically just sending the filament through the gears and into the nozzle. It heats it up and gets a good attachment in there. Then we're gonna go down our printer and go to our file and print it. So before this, initially what you would do is level your bed for the first time, and I didn't have to do that. Mine's level, and it's also an auto level bed, so I just click a button, it auto levels it, and you're good to go normally. Here the print started. This is a time lapse of the print, and you can see everything just like we did in the software, how it just came up. There's our supports and the model, and layer by layer, just like in the software. That's why it's called a slicer. Alright, here's our finished product. We just need to take our supports off, and this part is done. You can primer it and paint it right away. If you're looking for more detail, there's lots of stuff you can do. You can check out other people's YouTube videos on that. But we're done here. That's your first 3D print. It's that easy. Go get yourself a printer and get to printing. Thanks for watching.